Hey guys, so I'm just doing a quick intro for for showing off my new wheelchair, which is coming today. Um, so I'm a little bit excited, um, and happy that I'm finally getting a wheelchair back because it's been a couple of weeks, well more than a couple of weeks, I think couple of months that I've been without a wheelchair now because my old wheelchair, my iGo, broke down, and it was repairable, but it would have cost the price of a new wheelchair to repair it. And also, they don't make the iGo anymore, so parts are a little bit tricky to get hold of, and it's a little bit more expensive. So I thought, well, it's probably best to get a new wheelchair, and I've been looking into getting the all-terrain wheelchair as well anyway. So I thought, well, maybe if I look into getting the all-terrain wheelchair now, then maybe, we could get that and just replace my wheelchair with an all-terrain. Which sadly I haven't managed to do. I mean, the wheelchair I've picked out is brilliant. It's similar to the iGo, similar style, but it is a self-folding, so it comes with this little remote thing, and you press the button and it unfolds itself. Then you press the button again and it folds itself up, which is really brilliant, not just for me, but for John as well, because with the iGo we did struggle on occasion with trying to fold it up because the catches at the back were in a very awkward position, and sometimes one of them could be very stiff. And then the way it folded up, because of the folding mechanism, you had to push it a bit, and sometimes we'd get our fingers caught and stuff like that. So it was a bit awkward with the iGo to fold it up sometimes. But with this one, it folds and unfolds itself at the click of a button, which is really handy. Now, it is a little more all-terrain than the iGo was. I mean, the iGo was brilliant for getting on and off public transport, which I use a lot because I don't drive, neither does John. So we use public transport to get around all the time. And the iGo was brilliant for getting on and off buses and trains and stuff. And because it folded down so small, it was good to get in car boots, like in the boot of a taxi or whatever. And the iGo was also brilliant for, going around shopping centres and stuff like that, getting the shopping done. It coped really well with that. But uneven ground, it went a little bit iffy on the steering. It couldn't cope with grass, gravel, any wheelchair really. I try and avoid gravel because of the noise gravel makes. It's not great for my sensory processing disorder. It's just horrible noise. Any wheels going over gravel or even walking on gravel, it's just annoying noise. So the iGo weren't brilliant for any kind of off-roading or uneven ground. This wheelchair I've got now, it's got bigger wheels than the iGo, and they are air tyres, so I've got to watch out for punctures and stuff, but it is a little better with uneven ground than the iGo is, and it will cope better, hopefully, with grass and stuff like that. Because I do spend a lot of my time down on Western Shore, especially in the summer, and going along to like Victoria Country Park and stuff like that, where there's a lot of grass and wooded areas that I like to disappear into with my camera, to get pictures of bugs and wildflowers and and swans. But yeah, so it's a little better than the iGo, but it's not the one I wanted. I mean, the wheelchair I wanted, I believe, was called the Trekinetic. And there's just no way I'd be able to afford that. I tried saving for it. I am terrible at saving money, especially when I have things popping up that need paying. So yeah, unexpected bills, things I need to pay out for and stuff like that. And also, I just like to waste money on crap, you know. Life's too short, you can't take it with you, you know, so you might as well spend it on things you enjoy while you're here. But yeah, so, and also with the financing company I've gone through, they would only finance me up to £3,000. And as I said, the Trekinetic wheelchair that I wanted is £11,000. So there's just no way, even with financing from that company, there's just no way I'd be able to afford it. So yeah, I had to go for a cheaper option. But I suppose the most important thing is being able to safely get from A to B, you know, which has been a massive struggle lately without the wheelchair, because I tried to keep up my level of activity after my wheelchair broke down, and I nearly ended up in hospital because I'm super stubborn and I get bored sitting around on my butt all day. So I like to be up and moving and doing something, you know, and I like to be out and about in nature and stuff like that. I hate sitting around indoors all day, every day. So I like to be on the go. And of course, with my major heart issues and spinal issues and hip issues and like all the health issues I have, it's really hard for me to be constantly on the go without a wheelchair. I mean, yes, I can still get up and walk around and walk short distances and stuff like that. But if I'm going long distance, say if I'm walking from here along the riverfront, along Western Shore, it's really hard for me to manage that walk, and I make myself really ill doing it. So it's just safer and better for me to have the wheelchair, because then I have the option to get out of the wheelchair and walk a little if I'd like, you know, but then I still have the wheelchair there to fall back on if I start to get too much pain, or I start to get palpitations, or I start to feel tired, or whatever, you know, start to get fatigue. I have the wheelchair that I can just sit down in and carry on my journey. You know, the journey doesn't have to end, you know. So yeah, it's going to be good getting the wheelchair back and being able to get out and about again a bit more, because I have lost a little bit of my independence the last couple of months and a little bit of my freedom. I've still been trying to go out to some of the social events and stuff, because apparently it's important to socialise. yeah, do excuse Johnny's doing the housework in the background. But yeah, it's apparently important to socialise. I socialise a lot with my cat at home. It's fine. We have some really good conversations. No, but I also go out and about and I chat to the swans. Swans are very good conversationalists. I don't know if any of you know that, but there you go, bit of information. Also, swans are very inquisitive. They like to investigate anything you have on you. So if you're out and about near swans and you put your bag down, they will immediately want to come up to it and investigate it and see what it is and see if there's food inside it. If you get out of your wheelchair to try and get a better angle to get a photo of a baby swan, the daddy swan will come up to your wheelchair and peck at it and investigate it to see if there's food in it. You know, basically. So yeah, sorry, I'm really hypo this morning. It's because I'm excited. I am drinking decaf tea. I've switched to decaf. I didn't think I'd like it, but it tastes like normal tea. But yeah, I've switched to decaf, obviously, to help my heart issues. And also, my allergy issues. Been having a lot of issues with allergies lately. Apparently I have, overactive mast cells. Now, for those who don't know, mast cells are the cells that are responsible for allergies and for allergic reactions. They release histamines into your system. And them histamines cause allergic reactions like stuffy nose or itchy runny eyes or skin rashes and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm taking antihistamines to help with that. But apparently caffeinated tea, caffeine, not just caffeinated tea, but caffeine in general, it affects the allergic reactions. It makes them. I'm trying to remember what I said when I. Bleh. The language is not happening properly today. But yeah, so caffeine makes the allergic reactions worse, apparently. So I'm trying decaf, because I drink a lot of tea. So I've switched to decaf tea to try and battle the allergic reactions. I don't know what it is I'm allergic to. I don't know why the mast cells have become overactive. Sometimes it just happens. There's no reason for it. You know, maybe it's something environmental. I don't know. Maybe I'm just allergic to myself. I don't know. But yeah. So, I'm gabbing on and going just on a tangent. But yeah, so in a bit when my wheelchair gets here, obviously they're delivering it and it's going to be an engineer who's going to talk me through. I mean, they gave me a bit of a, in the shop they gave me a bit of a directions on how to use the wheelchair and how it works, and you know, showed it off and let me have a ride in it and stuff. But the people that are delivering it, the engineer, he's gonna be talking me through it again just to make sure that I know how to use it and I know how the batteries work and how it all connects and bleh, and all that sort of stuff. But after that, after he's been and gone and delivered it, I will show it off to you. So there will be more to this video. you will be hopefully seeing my new wheelchair today. And I was hoping to maybe get out and about a bit later in it, to test it out and whatnot. But that all depends on the weather. If the weather's too wet and cold, then I probably won't. So that might have to wait until we have some better weather. So, but yeah, I'll be back in a bit then to show off the new wheelchair. Hey guys, so the new wheelchair has arrived. It's all folded up at the moment. And I forgot to say before where I got this wheelchair from. I got it from Able World. They are really good. They have stores all over the UK. So go check their website out. I will leave a link for Able World's website under this video. But yeah, at the moment it's all folded up and we're going to unfold it. Now let me come closer to the camera a second to show you this thingy. So this is like a little remote. If I slide this little protective cover that way, there's buttons. Now if I press, I believe it was the, wait, there's one thing I've got to do first before I press anything, and that is sort this out. So I don't want to break it just as I've got it. So I've got to lay it down. It's heavy. Got to lay it down like that. I don't know if you guys can still see it. I'll move it back a bit because this room is not very big.
We can see it.
You can see it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right. So if I press the B button, I'll just stand back out the way. Is it the B button?
A button to assemble.
Ah, it's A button. It's A button. Right, so A button. And it just slowly unfolds itself. Which is really, really cool. There we go. And then obviously B button folds it up again. Now you can manually fold this, so if the electric folding thing malfunctions, there's like catches, yellow catches at the back, and I think you like unplug the motor and stuff. But yeah, let's bring it up again. It's like a proper little transformer. There we go. So it is a Spirit wheelchair. It's got a nice big foot plate, whereas the iGo that I used to have had quite a small foot plate that was like right close to the wheelchair. So my feet and my legs were like scrunched right up. This has a bit more room, so I can stretch my legs out and move my legs around a bit more, which will help with cramping issues and stuff like that, and muscle spasms and all. It has bigger front wheels than the iGo. It also has bigger back wheels than the iGo. Let me turn it on a sec. There we go. So it's got a smaller control panel than the iGo as well, which I like. So it's got the bigger back wheels, but they are filled with air, so I've got to be careful about punctures and stuff. And like I said, the control panel is a lot smaller than the iGo. One of the main problems I had with the iGo control panel was its size and the fact it stuck so far out. So when pulling up to a table, I couldn't pull right up in with my legs under the table properly because of the control panel. So I'd either have to take the control panel off or fold up the armrests, and the armrests on the iGo were really loose, so they'd end up just flopping back, and then the control panel would hit the back wheel or the floor, which was a bit of an issue. But this is much smaller. Also, you'll see, I don't know if you can see on the arms, if I bring the chair a bit closer, on the arms here, don't know if you can see that, this little bit there, there's one of those on both armrests, because the control panel can be moved to this armrest if need be, but these little things, there's a bag, little net bag under here, there is a zip somewhere, if I find the zip. This is like just velcroed on, so you can take it off. There is a zip somewhere. No, there is. There it is. Bear with me. So, in here, there's this thing. So this is like a little cup holder, or I suppose you could put your phone in it, or you bottle a drink or whatever. But that slides in there, and then obviously you do up the little lever bolt thing. And there you go, you've got a little bottle holder, cup holder thing, which is really cool. And I was thinking that would be really cool. You could make other attachments to put on your wheelchair. So if you did want a proper phone holder, you could probably get one or make one, as long as you've got a pipe that size, I suppose. You could attach anything to there, and I had the brainwave of maybe I could make some sort of bracket style thing to put on there to put my camera on, so when I'm out and about doing photography along the shore or wherever I am, I won't have to worry about trying to steer and operate my camera at the same time, because I can't steer with this hand, but the problem is my camera I can't use with this hand either. They're both right-handed. Well, this can be left-handed as well, but I find it easier driving with the right hand, and my camera is right-handed as well. So trying to steer and take photos and stuff is really difficult. So if I can either mount my camera here or here, it's going to be a lot easier for me to do both at the same time. I don't know, but that's just a weird tangent. Anyway, so little cup holder there, which is really cool and handy. This little basket down here is handy. There's a really sturdy looking seat belt. It's like almost like a proper car seat belt. I don't really use seat belts while using wheelchair. I probably should for safety reasons, but I don't really do it because I worry if the wheelchair tips and I'm strapped into it, then yeah, that doesn't seem safe to me. Although this wheelchair will have a hard time tipping because there are anti-tip bars at the back. Now if I turn this round, I'm better at steering it when I'm sat in it. So there are these anti-tip bars at the bottom here with the wheels on. So if it starts to tip backwards, those wheels will stop it tipping too far. So, and they can be adjusted apparently, those bars. So that's good. And then you can see these levers here. These turn off the motors. So then you can just move it around without using the control panel, which I like these levers. They're a lot better than the iGo levers, because one, obviously the colour of them. On the iGo they were black against a black motor or whatever. So for me, visually, with my visual impairments and contrast wise, levers were really tricky to see, but these are not, because of the colour of them. And these levers are a lot bigger as well and a lot closer and easier to access for me, so that's another good point. And here, that is the folding mechanism if you don't use give me a sec to breathe. If you don't use the remote to fold it up, this is how to do it manually. And again, bigger levers than the iGo, and they're bright yellow, and they work a lot better. So,
Can I just correct you?
correct me, go ahead.
Those bright yellow, they're not for adjusting, they're not for folding it down. If you squeeze it and pull backwards on the...
Oh. Okay.
There's 3 settings.
Okay.
That's on the low. If you pull it up a tiny bit... Okay, right. Right there, that's in the bottom setting. Then if you click it and then pull it up a little bit and then let go, that's the second setting. And then pull it again and then up. Oh, that's too far. Now push it back down a bit. There, and that's the third setting.
Oh.
So you can actually have it so you can recline. So if you're at the beach, instead of going like that to look at the stars, you can recline it and look upwards.
Oh, that's brilliant, because that's
The way to manual take it down
Yeah.
is this pin here.
Okay.
It unscrews, but it's difficult to put back in.
Yeah.
Right? You unpin that, and the whole thing will fold nicely.
Okay, cool. So
I remembered something from last week. Yay!
It's excellent, because with my back and hip issues, sometimes being sat bolt upright for too long, I start to get pain in my lower back and my hips. So being able to recline to alleviate that pain and discomfort, that's brilliant. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's quite good. See, the iGo didn't have a fold-in. I mean, it had a fold-in thingy, so the backrest folded right down, so you could put it away easier, but it didn't recline like that. So yeah, so far, this is beating the iGo hands down.
Yeah.
Just thinking what else to say about it, really.
I have 2 things to say.
What's that?
One, you might be able to see these weird little wheels in here.
Oh,
What those do?
these?
No, down a bit. Down there.
Oh, yeah.
When it folds up, they act as the coasters as well as those anti-tip
Oh, yeah,
ones.
so you can roll it.
So you
along
can
the
roll it
floor.
around,
Yeah.
right? Also, when it's laid down and folded, the wheels, as you saw, are all touching the ground. So then you can transport it whilst it's laid down on the ground.
Yeah.
So you can slide it under a sofa
Oh,
or
yeah.
in a car boot easily.
Turn it on. I think it has.
Yeah.
It's on the lowest speed setting at the moment, but it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speed settings.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna sit in it.
Let's have a look at the control panel first, I think. Just to show the viewers. You got a beepy horn, the on-off button, speed up and speed down. Show the speed up, speed down. It goes up, see? And then got the speed down, pardon me, I just burped. Burp.
Yeah. And then obviously the lever. See, I haven't had a proper go in this yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn it off. Control panel off. Always do that. Never get in your wheelchair while the control panel is switched on. Because if you accidentally knock the lever, then your chair's going to move while you're trying to sit down, and you're probably going to fall over and hurt yourself. So for safety reasons, always make sure your control panel is switched off before you try and sit in your wheelchair or get out of your wheelchair.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sit in it. And
yeah. One more thing as well is the way it charges is it can charge from the control panel or from the battery in here, which has an on-off switch on it. So you can actually turn the actual switch off. They also come out. And as you can see, there's a second rack there for a spare battery if need be. So if you're doing a longer journey, you can invest in another battery. They both come out of the wheelchair. So if you do take it somewhere and it gets muddy or whatever, you can then basically remove all of the electronics, like apart from maybe the cables, but you know what, like, and the motors, but you can remove the main parts of the electronics to clean it or to charge the battery. So you don't have, if you like have a garage and this sits in your garage because you can't get it into your house, instead of having to run an extension lead out to the garage, you can just take the battery into your home and charge it. And they're quite small, they're quite portable. So if you have a car, you could also have a couple of them stored in the back for those longer journeys, and you can have two on them, two on there. So from what the iGo was to this AutoFold, the company definitely had a good look at what they did wrong or didn't do on the iGo and has made it better. My particular favourite feature is the AutoFold, because not just because I'm lazy, which I am, but most people that use power chairs are, not to be ageist, but elderly. They're older, you know, and they usually have an older partner. So somebody that's 60, 70 years old trying to pull bolts and lift heavy objects and all of that lot and fold it down to get it into the car on the iGo, that puts the back at risk. That puts the knees at risk, you know, and the shoulders. But with one button press and down it folds, saves time, saves effort, saves injury. So they've really thunk it through. Oh, here we go. They also got stick-on reflectors. They've also got the stick-on reflectors on the front and back. Yeah, it wasn't tightened up.
yeah. Well, no, I untightened it.
Yeah, because of how long the pipe is as well, you can change the length of where it is so it's more comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to just be all cramped up at that little space.
Yeah. I will try and do this up now whilst holding the control panel straight.
Yeah. You do it up most of the way, then you can rotate the panel straight and then click it so it doesn't fall out.
Okay.
Just looking at the face and doing it.
I think that.
Right, and now turn it.
Is that straight?
If it's straight for you, and then you just pull the clamp closed to keep it in place.
There we go.
See, you did that from the seated position, which just demonstrated that if somebody was sat in that chair, they can there's enough room for you to mess around with it to sort it out.
Setting, it moves faster than the iGo on its like second.
Yeah, but here's the thing,
setting.
right? If you move that stick very slightly, only gently, right?
I can creep towards
Yeah.
you.
Now, if you pull it backwards really quickly,
Oh,
it's like an accelerator. The more you push, the faster it goes. And the speed changer on it, from what the guy in the shop, Peter, wonderful dude, what he was saying is that the higher the setting, the faster the rotations of the wheels. So there, it's basically on the lowest setting, it limits how many rotations.
I kind of want to do the top setting.
We'll do that in a video when we can get outside, because otherwise you're going to go through that window and take me with you. Because if you're moving that fast
On
one in this short space,
I'm trying not to run your feet over, John.
yeah, I know, that's why I've got them right out of the way.
Wee.
Oh, watch the table.
I'm a pro.
You're making me dizzy.
But yeah, this is much smoother ride than the Igo as well. It's a bit wider than the Igo, so I've got more room to move my legs around.
I just hope it gets on the bus properly. That's my only concern now.
Do. The Igo I had no problem with.
I mean,
getting off the bus. But we shall test this out
Yeah.
when we go out next.
I mean, I just want to say though,
It also feels more sturdy than the Igo as well. Because the Igo, if I jumped around in it, it felt like it was about to like fold up or collapse on me, and it was very like this going over. When I was trying it in the shop, there was a bit of a bump because they had like hard flooring like this that went onto carpet, and there was a bit of a bump. So going over the bump, I didn't feel the bump at all. It was only like a little tiny bump, but I didn't feel it at all. Now I remember testing out the Igo in the shop. When I went round the shop, going over that bump, I felt the bump in the Igo. In this one, I didn't. So,
and that is thanks to these little things here.
yeah, it has better.
Right, it's got a little cushion shock, and this here is a hinge.
Yeah.
So that absorbed most of it, and that counterbalanced it. Like,
Yeah.
that's what they said in the shop anyway. I don't know the technical terms. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a car mechanic.
This is my new wheelchair.
Yeah, your new power chair.
This is my transformer. It's not a wheelchair, it's a transformer in disguise.
I've noticed that it's tilted a little bit when you're doing it, so you might have to tighten that up a little bit more.
Yeah. I might need your help to tighten this.
Yeah.
See, because I don't want that lever sticking out too much, because my clothes will keep catching on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for now I'll leave it like that. I can't really get it done up,
Yeah.
fold it up anymore. If I do it up tight, it won't fold.
Yeah.
So, I'll get you to sort that out later.
Yeah.
But for now,
That was the sofa you just hit.
on my desk there, behind you, is a little baggie. Can you pass me that little baggie?
Not on camera, love.
No, it's nothing like that. Pass me the baggie.
Yeah, I just got to switch hands with the phone there. You mean this one?
Yeah, so these are little dust caps for tyres. Now I bought these years ago for my bike. But now I can't use my bike anymore, and they wouldn't fit my bike anyway when I bought them. So, yeah, and looking at these wheels and the dust caps on these wheels, I'm thinking they'll fit on there. So I'm going to give it a try, but they're just little purple dice.
So I didn't quite see that. Little purple dice. Look at them.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So let's see if they'll fit on the wheels.
I apologise for my camera work, people, because despite what you may think, I am not a cameraman.
Let's take this off.
Another thing I want to point out though is it's got mud guards. They're very flexible. unlike some mud guards which would break upon impact. So they've really thought through what they were doing with this.
Oh, that's sick.
Look at that. Now we know it's definitely yours because you've customized it. Look at that. Beautiful.
I can't believe they actually fit on there.
Hopefully they don't extend out to the wheel, past the wheels too far.
No, they don't. I mean, because the black ones do extend out a little bit, but these don't extend out too far.
Yeah. Another thing that, as well, just pointing out again, that little 3-pin system there, that was what we were doing with the backrest. And as you saw when we folded it, you can leave the handles down because the way it is designed is that as it folds, the hinge down here settles, you know. It's a feat of engineering in my opinion. It's very well made, very well put together.
I'm very happy with that. It's a lot better than the iGo. I mean, when I got the iGo, I was desperate for a wheelchair. And the iGo was a really good price. And it got me from A to B. And it was small and compact and lightweight. So easy to get on and off public transport and everything. And it was my first power chair I've ever had. I used to have a manual wheelchair. But yeah. But I think this I recommend over the iGo. But the iGo they don't make anymore, so. But yeah, definitely. I'd rate this one, if I had to rate it with stars, I'd say 5-star. Really good. Well, let's say 4.5. It loses half a star because it's not completely all-terrain. I mean, this will cope with uneven ground better than the iGo did. But yeah, it's not fully all-terrain off-road, which is what I want in a wheelchair, really. But for now, I'm happy with this one, and it will get me from A to B safely. So yeah. But I want to film me going up the cutway to the bus stop,
Which is just
it's a very
there.
steep slope. And the iGo going up this slope, the steering used to go a bit funny and it would pull to one side and stuff suddenly. So we're going to see if this wheelchair does that. So yeah, I've got a funny drop curve.
What speed have you got it on at the moment?
3.
3.
Yeah, and I'm not going full on 3. It's just
Ah.
I can go full if you want.
Yeah, let's see how fast it is on 3.
Yeah, this is the fastest it will go on 3.
Nice. Got a bit of clout to it.
And I'm not feeling the bumps as much as I did in the iGo.
Okay. Right, concentrate on getting off the road.
Yeah. But you see, that big
root.
tree root crack. The Igo used to have trouble getting over that. It would nearly, the steering would go funny and it would be a big bump. Let's see if this wheelchair can handle it.
Right. I mean,
Not
perfect,
perfect.
but-
It was a bit, but then I'm not used to using this wheelchair. But it stopped rolling, tipping backwards because of the tip wheels. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's get going up here.
she thinks I can keep up with her better. Look at it go. There, people. Good.
I promise I am an expert driver.
Fits through there nicely.
So yeah, no steering issues as I was coming up there really, because like I said with the Igo would pull suddenly to one side, and I'd crash into the rails on the side or into the curb. There was no issues like that. Also, I don't think I need this on full power to get up that hill, because with the Igo I did, and still it would lag a little bit, feel like it was sort of lagging and struggling. But this, not a problem. So I don't think I even need it on full power going up that hill, you know. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
quite pleased with this. The bus stop's just over there, so
Yeah, just behind the bin there.
yeah,
The bus
so
stop.
we're gonna go and get the bus now into town. And yeah, we'll see how this copes in town. I don't know if I'm gonna do any videoing whilst in town because it's gonna be quite busy because it's close to Christmas. But yeah, for now, I'm quite pleased with how this is handling. And that's it for this video, so I'll see you all later. Bye bye.